all type of crap and trash and whatever through the entire system. When a compressor blows up, the taste of bad work lingers long after the sweet taste of a cheap price. Eating out this entire time, that means my Interchiller works a hell of a lot better than I thought it did.
Perfect.
Welcome to the AutoLust YouTube channel. And if you didn't catch the video a couple of weeks ago, we just installed LCI G12 tail lights on my beautiful baby Olivia. Gorgeous, gorgeous. We would be continuing the upgrades for Olivia as she has a plethora of aesthetic and performance upgrades, lowered wheels, full bow tones, I mean, etc., etc. But something very bad happened. So, I mean, let's get right into it. So I have good news and bad news. The bad thing didn't happen to Olivia. That's the good news. The very bad news is it happened to Sasha. As you can see, she's in the garage on the charger, you know, because she, I mean, literally can't, you know, she can move, but she shouldn't be moved. And I'll show you why. So this is why Sasha can't move. If you don't know, she has an Interchiller system. That's her Interchiller box right there, made by Forced Induction Interchillers. And if you don't know what an Interchiller is, it pretty much uses the AC refrigerant to cool down a tank of fluid, which Sasha has a 3-gallon tank in the fender there, and it uses that to pump through the intercoolers to cool down your turbocharge before it goes in the engine. So the bad thing, what happened is all of Sasha's system doesn't even work anymore. And the reason it doesn't work anymore is because the AC compressor blew up again. No, it's not the Interchiller's fault. I'm going to explain. So when I first had this Interchiller installed, this little fitting here that's welded on, it wasn't, let me turn the light down a little bit so you guys can see it. Yeah, that little fitting here that's welded on wasn't welded correctly. You know, so a lot of the refrigerant bled out, you know, bled out until the pressure switch here told the compressor to shut off. You know, so to save the compressor from blowing up. So it shut off. You know, me and Omar, big shout out to Boosted BIMMERS, we confirmed that the clutch was still good on the AC compressor and that the belt was still, you know, from the compressor to the crank pulley. You know, so I took it back to the shop that installed the AC compressor, that installed the Interchiller system, and I let them know what happened. I'm like, man, hey man, the lines are leaking, you know, now my compressor is not working because all the refrigerant leaked out. So they re-welded the lines. You know, fast forward, this one was never welded right for the second time. I took this one to Monster Performance. Big shout out to Lee Bird, Monster Performance. Thank you, brother. He got that right for me finally. So after I took it back to the shop who installed the Interchiller, they told me that the compressor was blowed, which it wasn't, you know, and they showed me some pictures of the belt burned all up, popped off, and the compressor locked up. And I'm like, I checked all that before I dropped it back off to you. So they agreed to swap the compressor, a new compressor on, and they refilled the system, and, you know, everything was good to go. But it wasn't, because when a compressor blows up, I don't know what's the reason why it blew up over at their shop, but it didn't blow up before I took it to them. So I don't know what they did, but it sends all type of crap and trash and whatever through the entire system. When a compressor blows up, you want to replace everything. The condenser, the dryer, which is inside of the condenser on the corner on this car, the expansion valve, and everything else. And even you should have replaced the extra dryer. It's another, you can't see it, but it's another dryer just for this Interchiller as well. Now I have to replace all of that stuff, including the compressor, and flush out the cabin the coil in the cabin, and also flush out the Interchiller, you know, the refrigerant track for the Interchiller before I install another $600 worth of parts, you know, because this thing blew up again. You know, I could go back to the shop who originally installed it, but I don't think I'm gonna do that because I don't want any more problems on this engine. So I'm gonna, you know, handle it myself, you know. And when when I say myself, I mean, you know, Boosted BIMMERS over at Omar. So yeah, you know, I'm so upset that this car can't even move. Sasha is capable of moving under her own power, but you wouldn't want to do that because since there's nothing to cool the fluid down in the chiller tank, it's just going to heat up hotter and hotter and hotter from the turbos until she leans out and detonates. And you know what that means. But the thing that I'm very, very excited about is all of the testing I got with the Interchiller. If you don't know or you never seen the channel, you can see I have my Interchiller tank reading there. That's what temperature it is in the tank right now, which is 81.1 degrees, you know. And I can also I can use live day gauges for the intake temps, but everything was great. And it's crazy because I did that testing about a week before it. I mean, about a month and a half, 2 months before the AC system bled all the way dry, but it was bleeding out this entire time. That means my Interchiller works a hell of a lot better than I thought it did. So I can't even, and it was super ice cold then, so I can't wait to, you know, switch everything over, do it the right way. You know, I mean, the people you trust these days, and then fill it up with a refrigerant. The brand new compressor comes with oil pre-filled. Always go OE or OE plus, you know, and that's what we did. So I'm gonna get all of that stuff swapped over. But I mean, it's just always something going on with Sasha. You know, it's never easy with that car. But it's so much stuff we still have to do to Olivia, cosmetic and performance wise. As you can see, this really aggravates me right here. You can see where all of the rubber is breaking off right here, where the fins, the vents are, or where the flaps open up for the active cooling. You know, and it's cracked up on the inside too. So boom, we gonna install a brand new one. And also I have a better fitting. Oh, I told you guys I'm gonna order that hose, that brown. If you got a cooling in your cooling system, if you got these little plastic end caps on the these plastic little quick connects on the end of your cooling hoses, once they turn brown, it's time to replace them. Don't wait until they leave you stranded on the road or with a blown engine. Replace it when it turns brown. So we're gonna replace this one, and this one goes from the thermostat housing to the water pump. So we're going to replace that. And also I'm happy about my new turbo inlet hose. As you can see, it's flush now with the silicone. It used to be a gap there, so when charge air comes in, it slips under that gap. You know, now it's so tight. Like, I mean, look, even there, it's like perfect. It's like it's one piece. So I can't wait to put this turbo inlet on Olivia as well.
3 days later.
So yeah, pretty much that's what's going on with Sasha. You know, for those of you who've been looking for the videos every week, I haven't been able to post them every week because of the problem I had with Sasha. So we had to pause her completely, you know. And Olivia's next step is, you know, a bunch of other stuff like upgraded fuel pumps and turbos and stuff like that, which I'm not really trying to spend that type of money on her anyways, when Sasha has so much to do and such a long way to go. You know, like, honestly, you know, like, I mean, I just been having so much going on in my own personal life. Like, I moved. You know, I hated my old neighborhood anyways. The neighbors were, I mean, some of the neighbors was cool, and the rest of them was, you already know what type of neighbors they are. So, you know, it's just like so much been going on lately, you know. And I mean, you know, that's how it is with everybody. You know, when life catch up to you, you know, you gotta sit your ass down and figure some things out. So I mean, it's no big deal, but I'm waiting on those parts for Sasha to come, and I'm not gonna blame anybody for it, even though I damn sure should. But I mean, it is what it is. Like when I start taking the AC apart, it was like this gray stuff in it, and usually when the AC compressor blow up, you change the dryer and other components, because obviously it sunk trash through the AC when it blew up, but none of that stuff was done. You know, so I mean, it is what it is. So I'm gonna bite the bullet, you know, and replace all of that stuff out of pocket myself, on top of all this other stuff I gotta do in my personal life. So it's definitely not easy, you know. AutoLust fam, I mean, it's crazy and so aggravating, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I know you guys can tell that it bothers me, because man, like every time it seems like I get to a certain point, it's something stupid that happened, or something from in the past that, you know, come back to bite me, you know, about the stupid mistakes I made by trusting other companies and other businesses with my property, you know. And you know, it's not I don't blame them, you know, but like they say, you know, the sour taste of bad work lingers long after the sweet taste of a cheap price disappears. And boy, that's how I feel right now. I have nothing but sour taste in my mouth for these companies I let touch my car, because I have to literally rebuild everything, you know, literally everything. Like you guys know, I got new forged parts and everything. So I mean, and I'm far from a millionaire, as you know. I mean, it is what it is. There's not much I can talk to you guys about, you know, because there's really nothing to say, you know. So when everything get back in order and stuff like that, then I start back releasing videos, you know. I don't need any well wishes or anything like that, because it's not that serious, you know. It's just regular stuff, the same stuff that most of you guys are going through, you know, with your cars and your personal life. You know, I'm a regular dude. I ain't no super guy, nothing like that. So, you know, I appreciate you guys. You know, sorry for disappearing for the little time I did, but that's pretty much what's going on. So when everything's smoothed out and the new parts come in, you know, I can get it back on the road and stuff like that. But like I say, it's a lot of other stuff I got going on I need to put together outside of YouTube also. So when the videos start coming up, they'll come up. Like, share, and subscribe, and AutoLust out.